I'm a 25-year-old grown-ass woman, and yet I still don't know where I truly belong. Welcome to my life. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is Larissa, and today in this video I've always wanted to make being bilingual and also growing up as mixed race. And I think you know already, but I'm from Japan and I live here in the UK now. Basically, me having identity crisis mainly happened when I was in Japan, but it's still an ongoing process. Even if you're not bilingual, or even if you don't live in a foreign country, I think you still can relate to it, because I know people who was born in a small town and never left the town, but you know that you don't really belong here, and you know that there's somewhere out there that you can truly be yourself. It's that kind of feeling, and I'm constantly feeling that way. But especially me growing up as in a Japanese culture where I couldn't really agree to the society. And so yeah, I just wanted to make this video, and then hopefully I get to share my struggle and also just about my life. So yeah, if you'd like to share your experience, then please feel free to leave the comments down below, because I'm really fascinated about this life, and because I'm an overthinker. I always overthink too much, and that's a blessing and a curse, really. So yeah, don't forget to leave the comments, and before I get to the video, don't forget to check my Instagram as well. It's Daily Larissa, and I usually update things there usually about my life. So yeah, don't forget to check that out, and let's just jump right into the video. So let's talk about being bilingual first. Being bilingual, I don't know if it's only me, but I feel like it also means like you have two different personalities. So me speaking Japanese and speaking English, I have a really different personality, because obviously it can link with the culture and how you behave and how you talk. And obviously Japanese is such a polite language. You naturally kind of act politely, behave politely, but in English you kind of can be more straightforward. I've always kind of like constantly struggled identifying which personality I truly am, because I feel like I am both but I am not at the same time. It's so hard to put it into words. Oh, can you tell I'm like already, my cheeks so blushed, and I'm already struggling. This is my third time filming. That's how I'm struggling to put everything into words, because this is always like constantly in my mind but never really like verbalized it. And so it's so hard to, you know, just talk about it, because this identity crisis is not only because one thing happened. It's just layers and layers of different aspects of my life influenced everything. So sorry if I look like I'm struggling, because I am. Anyways, the fact that I went to international school for 5 years, that I think was a major impact of my life, and that's where I established my foundation, like about my personality traits. And so if I didn't go to international school, I wouldn't be the same person as who I am now, because that's how just big of an influence it was. And from that, and to when I was 11 or 12, I moved to a Japanese school where it's like one cultured, you know, building or just community. Was quite hard to adjust, because obviously in international school people were from different backgrounds and speak different languages, but mainly we talked in English, to a place where it's only constantly just one language, one culture, one everything. Was quite a big adjustment for me. You know, when I was 12, 11, I was obsessed with Avril Lavigne. She was my queen, she still am. And me just loving life and just jamming on Avril Lavigne's song, really being interested in Western culture. And compared to my friends who was always interested in J-pop and, you know, Japanese culture, I couldn't relate to them, and I'm pretty sure they couldn't relate to me. Like, I had no friends that I could fully share my interest with. And that was also me being a teenager as well. When I went to high school, I never really had friends that I could fully, you know, connect with just about culturally, about mindset, about values, about everything. It was just really hard to connect with someone. Like I said, I've established my personality in international school, but I've learned how to act and how to behave like Japanese through going to Japanese school. So I guess, yeah, that makes more sense now. That's why I can't really fully connect to both sides, because I never fully experienced that Western culture lifestyle, but then I also didn't fully experience the Japanese lifestyle. Wow, I guess verbalizing it kind of helps. And also I think this is kind of, I guess you can relate to it, is that when you're speaking two languages, you know that your native language, you know that you can talk freely, you don't really have to think when you're speaking, you feel like you know everything about everything. But then in a second language, I feel like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I will never get to that point, the same level as I feel in my native language. So I never felt like my English is perfect at all, because like the more I learn about it, the more I feel like, oh shit, there's so much thing to learn about, and constantly feeling like I'm not perfect enough. And I don't know, that's just me being harsh on myself, or me being just perfectionist, that because in my native language I know how it feels like, you know, to be just speaking fluently, and then in the second language you're just not there yet. You know the basic, and I know that I'm at the advanced level, but I just like it's so hard to break through that wall, you know, to go to the next step, to be a native English speaker. I don't think I'll ever 100% be satisfied with my English level. I'm okay with it, to be honest. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, like my life is over, I can't speak English properly anymore. It's just not like that. It's just like that always constant feeling of you're not there yet, that kind of feeling, you know, if that makes sense. That was kind of like some examples of my struggle being bilingual. And on top of that, me being mixed race didn't really help. I've made a video about lookism in Japan, where specifically talking about Japanese culture, being obsessed with appearances. And if you're interested in that video, I will leave it here, so you can watch that if you're interested. But basically, me being mixed race and, you know, being half Japanese, half Russian, I guess from a Japanese culture is so interesting. Me being constantly asked about the same questions, like where I'm from, where my parents are from, what language do I speak, if I've ever visited Russia, that constantly every day make me question about myself, like, am I being Japanese enough? Do I belong here in this culture? Because it sounds like I don't. It sounds like people don't think I belong here. You know, now I'm old enough that I used to it, but especially when you're a teenager, being a teenager is already tough, and then on top of that you have to go through the whole thing is hard. It's really hard. My solution to this problem, I thought it was, okay, so maybe if I'm not Japanese enough, then maybe I'm more of the Russian side. And I wish the solution was that easy, but the thing is that I don't really have a connection to Russian side at all. Like, I've seen my Russian grandma and my auntie, but that was when I was really little. I don't even remember. I've never visited Russia. I don't speak Russian, so I just can't relate to that side of my roots. Even like, I feel like I have a second option. That wasn't even an option in the first place. So me growing up from a different background, and also going through international school and a big transition to a Japanese school, speaking different languages, it's just everything contributed and led to me at this point. And my old friend told me that apparently even when I was back in like age 11 or 12, apparently I've always said that I want to leave Japan. Even at that young age, I knew that I don't fully belong here. And I knew that there's somewhere out there that I can just be myself and be 100% with myself. And so yeah, that's what I did when I was 23, 22. I don't remember. But basically now I live here in the UK. And how do I feel now? Well, let me tell you guys. I feel so Japanese than I was before. Does that even make any sense? Like, I feel like I'm more Japanese than I thought I was when I moved here, because obviously I'm not British. Like, I'm learning the culture, I'm living this lifestyle, and I love it here. Like, I can imagine myself living here for a long time, but I do identify myself as Japanese. But then the weirdest part is, like, I never felt this way when I was living in Japan. In Japan, I felt like I was an alien. I didn't fit into the society. I never really felt Japanese enough. And now I'm here in the UK, I feel like I'm more Japanese. But then at the same time, now if I move back to Japan, I don't think I'll feel the same way. I will still think that I'm not Japanese enough, because the fact that I have an experience here in the UK is going to be a big culture shock going back to Japan and acting like Japanese again. So, moral of the story, I can never win. I'm always constantly like moving to this country. I feel one way, and then moving back I feel the other way, so it's always constantly changing. But yeah, this is just like, I guess it's a life lesson, and as a human it's natural to want to have that sense of belonging, and I've always been constantly trying to find that. The thing is, I've reached to this point that it doesn't really matter if I don't feel like I belong. It is important to feel that way, of course, but at the same time I also do want to embrace that side of me being the odd one out, or me being a bit different, because at the end of the day, the experience that, you know, make you who you are, and then it helps me to create a different perspective on life, and just, you know, having a bit of a unique life experience. So yeah, I do love my life, just me being a bit different, and that can be a struggle that comes with the negative, but also comes with a bigger positive. Me speaking English opened so many doors, you know, brought me here in the UK, having a different experience here. I'm always grateful for that. And also me being bilingual, me being mixed race, is also kind of brought me to more different opportunities, and you know, I get to meet people who goes through the same thing. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm happy with my life, but I thought it would just be interesting to share this experience and thoughts about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my random rant video. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!